So as I'm showing here on the chart, possibly sideways consolidation above 9,091 above the 21-week EMA, and then a rally up. And this sideways action could actually initiate some more major moves in the altcoin market. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin. Over the past few days, things have been looking a little bit bleak here in the crypto market. Prices have been falling, but today prices have begun to recover. But the question is, will this recovery continue, or will we see more downside in the Bitcoin crypto market? In my Patreon right now, we're building an altcoin portfolio, and I'm actually managing all of my altcoins across some of the top exchanges all from one place. And that's the cool thing about CryptoWatch, is you don't have to use a charting platform and a separate trading platform. You can actually do that all in one place. So definitely click that link below and sign up now. Bitcoin is currently trading above 9,700, seeing a slight recovery here. So overall, we've seen a really nice exit of this downward sloping price channel that we were stuck in for the past half year. And now we've trended above the price channel, saw multiple higher lows above the price channel. And as we were creating these higher lows, building support above previous resistance, we then created this rising wedge pattern. Bitcoin had a false breakout to the upside of the rising wedge, got rejection around 10,500, and then actually dumped below the rising wedge, and we've seen a breakdown out of this rising wedge pattern. The interesting thing right now is that Bitcoin actually just created one of the first lower lows on the daily time scale that we've seen in a while. And this means that we are now retesting this previous resistance at 9,500 as new support, currently seeing a slight bounce off that level. And let's just move into the 12-hour chart so we can see a little bit more in detail. In my last video, we were talking about how if we couldn't find support around 9,700, then very likely we'd be looking to test closer to 9,100. As of right now, we are finding support. As of right now, we are seeing this bounce play out a little bit here. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to go to the 4-hour time scale and discuss this pattern that we're seeing on the lower time frames here on the 4-hour. We can see that we are beginning to form a pattern here. Some people would argue that, maybe this is just a downward sloping price channel. Some people would probably argue that, no, this is a falling wedge, right? And if we just mark up our resistance and support here, we can see that, the price action is beginning to squeeze a little bit into this area. It is very likely that we're going to see some significant price action at the end of this pattern. Right now, we are testing a significant previous resistance here as new support currently. If we can break above our downward sloping resistance and create support along this area, then very likely we'd be looking to test back up to the $10,000 range in the near term. But if we can't get above this resistance here, then very likely we'd be looking to test back down to support. And at that point, it becomes more likely that the bears have the momentum in the short term, and we'd be looking for a continued breakdown towards the $9,100 level to find more support in that region. So right now in the short term, the $9,750 area, which is this previous support range and now resistance, we're going to have to get above this level, create support and bounce if the bulls are going to recover here. If something like this cannot play out and we can't break resistance, then we'll be looking for a breakdown to 9,100 most likely. As of right now, we are seeing support come into the market, but we need to break this downward sloping resistance, create support, and continue to 10,000. As we can see right now, we did find multiple areas of resistance at the $10,000 region. So at this point in time, $10,000 is acting as a psychological resistance. So even if we do break above this pattern here and we create support and continue up to 10,000, that $10,000 level is going to be a pretty key level to get above, because that is going to be a psychological resistance. But overall, keep in mind, we did get a break to the downside of this pattern, and we are seeing a lower low now on the daily chart. So that is kind of a bearish sign. The bulls have lost a little bit of momentum here. But overall, as long as we maintain this support here, 9,500, or if we maintain the support here, 9,100, 9,000, then overall, I'm not really too worried about this pullback, and this would just be a nice, healthy correction before a continued uptrend. In my opinion, the overall trend right now for Bitcoin is clearly bullish. It is clearly to the upside, regardless of short-term pullbacks. If we're looking at the weekly chart for Bitcoin, we had our bear market low at 3,100, found support here, and we've created a significant higher low at 6,400, right? So we are seeing higher lows on the macro trend right now, getting a nice bounce off that level. And we are holding above this upward sloping trend line now. So I think we are creating a macro trend, a bullish macro trend. And one thing I want to talk about again is the next parabolic advance. Just to recap, guys, on the first halving cycle, we saw the first parabolic advance, the second parabolic advance, and a break of the all-time high. And in the second halving cycle, we saw the first parabolic advance, second parabolic advance, and a break of the all-time high. And now we're sitting on one parabolic advance, looking for the second one. The question is, are we going to get the second parabolic advance? If we do, what is it going to look like and when will it begin? Well, now that we've seen a slight pullback here on the weekly, we've seen a little bit of rejection from this level, from our previous macro high level. This does give us a chance to accumulate more and get ready for the next parabolic advance. I think overall Bitcoin is most likely going to be remaining above the 21-week EMA. So I think we're going to see a little bit more sideways action here before we run up and look to break up to, create that second parabolic advance and pull back to our upward sloping trend line, consolidate, and then break the all-time high. And at this point, we would very likely be looking to test the 21-week EMA once again before continuing up. So I think overall what we're going to see going into the next few weeks is a sideways consolidation most likely. We could pull back as low as 9,000, 9,100, consolidate sideways, get a sideways consolidation, eventually push up towards the $12,000, $13,000 level. And then going into the halving, we will probably see a continued run up to the all-time high and then see a dump and meet this upward sloping trend line, meet the 21-week EMA once again, consolidate and break the all-time high. Now, of course, this seems like a crystal ball prediction, but really all I'm doing is I'm just going off of the previous halving cycles and extrapolating that and using that to forecast the most likely outcome right now. Again, guys, Bitcoin is very systematic. It's programmed money. Bitcoin is inflationary, but the inflation decreases over time, right? So this creates a very systematic increase of demand. Personally, I don't think it's a coincidence that these halving cycles have played out in such a similar fashion, these first two halving cycles. And right now we are on track to do it again in a very similar way. Overall, what I think is most likely and what I would like to see from the bulls is remain above the 21-week EMA and consolidate above that going into the next few weeks and then push up towards the all-time high, retrace, find support along the 21-week EMA, and then consolidate and rally above the all-time high. Again, guys, the 21-week EMA, this blue line here, is historically a very key moving average that Bitcoin generally holds above during bull markets. So that is why I'm having such focus on this moving average. I do think it's going to be playing a key role moving forward. So as I'm showing here on the chart, possibly sideways consolidation above 9,000, 9,100, above the 21-week EMA, and then a rally up. So if we look at this from the daily chart, what could we expect? Maybe we remain above 9,500 and then continue up, or it's totally possible that Bitcoin actually breaks down to 9,100 and then we can recover and then continue up, right? Personally, again, like I said, I don't think Bitcoin's going to be going lower than 9,000 at this point, but we'll have to see how this actually plays out. But I think we could be seeing a sideways consolidation going into April before the halving, before we actually continue this run up. And this sideways action could actually initiate some more major moves in the altcoin market. But overall, from a long-term perspective, this is kind of what I'm expecting here. Sideways consolidation for the next few weeks, and then a rally up remaining above the 21-week EMA. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video gives you a better idea of what we might be dealing with going into the next few weeks, in the next few months, or the next year. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, be sure to sign up with the Cryptowatch platform. Also, you can join the Patreon if you want to see what altcoins I'm accumulating. I'm slowly building up an altcoin portfolio that you guys can keep track of, which I think is fun for all the people there in Patreon. But that's going to be it for me today, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.